Hello there guys, Febby here again to Bacon, and what we're going to be looking at today is StormTalon Lair Veteran. I'm going to be giving you all the information you need to know to achieve your goals, whether that be bronze, silver or gold, and then as soon as we're done with that I'm going to go through and give you a guide for each individual boss, telling you exactly what you need to know, how to do the challenges, and then how to get you to where you need to be. So the very first thing you're going to need to know is what gives you bronze, what gives you silver, and what gives you gold. So bronze is just you completing the dungeon in your own time and doing all the optionals like collecting the stems and collecting the buffs and killing the mini boss, which can be one of two, which you'll find along the way. And that's just bronze, just finishing the optional quests. From there you go to a silver, obviously, and silver is you doing all the optionals, killing the mini boss, and doing it in under 30 minutes, which can be difficult for some people, but also very realistic as well. And last but not least, you have gold, which is all of the above, so doing the optionals, finishing in under 30 minutes, but you also need to complete all challenges on all bosses, and you need to be undying, so no one in your group can die. So that's very, very tough. Silver is very realistic for nearly all groups though, and hopefully if you can't achieve that right now, you will be able to after this guide. So the first boss in STL is Bladewind the Invoker. First phase you're just gonna wanna stun him and nuke him down. He hasn't got much health, so that's fine. And then you'll transition into phase 2. Now, what happens in phase 2 is you'll get the lightning drop down, which you may remember from normal, and it will focus one particular person, and that person needs to stand on top of a mob in a corner and drop the telegraph on top of them. That will destroy their shield, allowing you to damage and kill them. You then just work your way around, do the full circle, kill all 4. And it's also important to remember that the challenge here is to have all the telegraphs hit a mob. None of them should miss. If you miss, then you lose your chance at getting a gold, and you also lose your chance at getting some extra loot from the boss. So try and do the challenge. It's really quite easy as long as you know how to move and when to drop them. You'll be fine. Just a bit of practice, 1 or 2 goes, and I'm sure you'll be getting it in no time. While all this is happening, it's important to remember to not stand in the sparks that you'll see spinning around, and also to not stand in the big red cross. Now again, at this point we don't take too much damage, but me and my guild are quite well geared. The big red cross does do a lot of damage, and it does also knock you back, which can cause a chain reaction of death effectively. So be very careful with it and just do your best to dodge what you can and make sure you get those telegraphs on the NPCs. So I've just finished nuking down the 4th ad, and what we're going to do now is transition to phase 3. If you remember the big red AoE from normal mode, then this will be absolutely fine for you, except he now does it 3 times in a row. The first one, we try to stun if everyone has the weapon, and we have stun groups set up in order to do this. Or if not, it's very, very easy to dodge the first 3 and then make a quick stun rotation either on the fly if you're on TeamSpeak, or then if you've already pre-made one, what can be sometimes useful to do is to dodge the first 3 and then start the rotation, simply just so everyone gets their bearings and you're not running around looking for weapons and things. And once you've got the stun rotation down, again just dodge the sparks and nuke him down. So the second boss in StormTalon Lair is Athros. Now first phase he's going to be very easy, tank and spank, and then in the second phase he's going to spawn 3 ads. Now these ads are going to spawn a AoE on top of a random team member, and you then need to have that member move to either side and drop it somewhere else. The only thing you need to watch out for in all of these phases is the big red circle that drops down, and you can just dodge roll out that, it's not a problem. So there's the big red circle, I'm moving it to the side, and all this time you're going to want to nuke these down as quick as possible. One of the challenges for this boss is to nuke them down within 15 seconds, so the quicker the better, and it also means that you get less of the red circles. So we're now into Gauntlet phase. The reason you move the circles to the side is so that they're not in the way for this run, and then what you're going to want to do is just get to the other end and stun him, and then this phase is over. Now we go back to phase 1, but it's the second transition, so it's a little bit different. He will try to teleport away, as you saw just there, and then he still does the drop down. So just dodge that, follow him, and then nuke him down. So he's going to go into the little ads again. It says the exact same thing this time. Popping these circles to the side, and then you nuking them down within 15 seconds again. So the only difference we're going to have here is after we run the gauntlet, the tornadoes are not going to stop moving. They're going to keep going left and right, and they're going to keep being a pain. So the boss is going to portal around. You're going to have to follow him whilst dodging the tornadoes, and one of the challenges for this boss is for no one in the group to be hit by the tornado. So this is where it gets a bit challenging, especially when you're looking for gold, because they're so easy to walk into. And yeah, so here it really is just a matter of dodging the drop downs, dodging the tornadoes, and nuking down the boss. If you can do that, you'll be absolutely fine. Last boss is obviously StormTalon. Now, he's going to cleave, so do not face him towards your group. And also, he doesn't have much health, so the phases can be very quick. And if you've got a lot of DPS, he can skip phases, and it can be a bit disorientating. So here we got the knockback phase. You can CC break out of it, or you can just use the standard game mechanics. And then you get back in there and you stun him. Very simple. From here he's going to cast an ability. You just dodge out of the telegraph on the ground, and the tank should kite him in a straight line if possible, so you can follow alongside and continue DPSing. From here we go into the Eye of the Storm phase. All it's going to do is put a storm on one particular person. Everyone has to stand in the safe zone, and you have to slowly walk around in a circle and not get hit by the drop downs. Getting hit by the drop downs will make you fail the challenge, so any drop downs in this fight you need to try and avoid them at all costs. So again, we're back in this phase where we need to kite him, so we're kiting him in a straight line across the room, and we're just going to DPS him down while we're doing it. And I think from here we skip a phase and we actually go straight back into the Eye of the Storm phase, and that's quite easy, and then we down him here. Some advice I would give: if your tank gets the storm on him, don't bother moving. You can heal him through it, that's not a problem, and that makes the fight much easier. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, do feel free to ask, and I really hope that's helped.